Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder of Path Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacchino here for the weekly stock sector ETF overview. By the way, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. Longer-term viewers, you know what to do. All right. Gonna make this one a little quicker. Not many changes from last week. By the way, the major S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, they're still all in mid to long-term sell modes. So keep that in mind. We did get a substantial rally next week, or last week, but it did not hit anything. Still looking for slight possible follow through going into Monday, Tuesday. So again, the focus will be on sectors that have not been in sell mode. Let's just get through what is going on. Energy XLE still in long-term buy mode. Still probabilities favor return to 88.93 overall. Nice little dip and then recovery with the recovery in oil. So still any energy plays that are not overbought or that come down when we do get a pullback are to be considered for still completely viable in long-term areas. You can see here, yes, this is a little mini double. And there you go. So that, especially if that triggers, you can get, I would possibly get slightly more aggressive with some good setup plays in energy for a few extra days. But that would really take us to the highs at the end of August. So that's more like a little pop play within the longer term uptrend. XLRE real estate, still long term sell, little bounce back move, not anywhere tipping it to buy. Not looking at this for a lot of plays unless there's something that really jumps out, but expecting some pretty significant overhead resistance. Came back down to 50 to 62.5 and reversed nicely. So this is an area watch for a bounce. So now I'm going to watch for the next rollover play in real estate. Notes went into consolidation. A lot of real estate stuff trades off the way the notes are trading, and I'm expecting the notes to turn down again next week. But we'll wait for confirmation. If the notes turn down, then on short moves, I will be looking for another rollover in real estate. XLF, the financial sector, again, coming down between the 50 and the 62. Those are these purple lines here, bouncing back up, but still in long-term sell. Watching for a topping pattern, especially if we do get a little more rally up between about 34.75, 34.60 to 34.75 for a little topping pattern, especially with cycles getting to the top. But not going to be looking for buys, really. We got a little end of week rally in the financials. Going to watch for the next rollover play. XLK Technology. Very weak bounce in technology, still in medium to long-term sell. Remember, last week it closed below 62.5, so probability-wise it should tackle this 126 level. So we'll be watching for technology rollover plays, especially things like the Apple events out of the way. Weak bounce in the semiconductors. So this, any good sell setups are game in the technology sector. This is just a little mini recovery pattern, but watching for it to stall out about 139.40. If you want to put on these little, it's a very small area. A key area I'm watching for is about 139.23 roughly. And then if it did go through that 140.46 before a potential rollover play with cycles heading to the top, but that's just going to be a continued bounce play. Even if that finished that mini double, would nowhere near tipping it back to buy mode. XLI still never tipped to sell mode, so it's still in buy mode. A nice bounce back bar here with the industrial sector back above the daily rotation zone. No great bottoming pattern here. Did get a %B buy signal here with cycles rolling up. So next area I'm watching for a continued rally is about this 96.75 to about 97.12 area. So industrials are still a play on a continued rally. If we get into sell mode again, like a rolling over top the first beginning of this week. I'll be a little pickier with the industrial plays. XLY, you see here, still we had long-term buy. This is not tipped to sell. Came down between the 50 and the 62.5. Hit the second target and the 50% and then rallied back up. The double is effectively over after hitting the second target and then forming this little mini double bottom that triggered on the 7th. So that ended the double top, triggered a double bottom. First and second targets are hit. Watching for a little, that was not a double top. It was a head and shoulders top. Watching for a little more continued follow through. Single candle clear path is technically the breakdown zone, but now we're going to watch this 166. So 165.45 to 166. So there are still some plays in consumer discretionary. Okay. We still don't have a long-term sell. We'll be picky with the plays in consumer discretionary, but we are still some plays which are still game on for those. XLP, consumer staples. Again, coming back, still never triggered a long-term sell. Medium to long-term, I should say medium to long-term. Back between the 50 and the 62.5, a bounce off of there. Not any double bottom pattern, but cannot get above the daily rotation zone. We still have the long-term double bottom in play. This did not invalidate it. So what I'm watching for on a short-term basis is for us to really get a close back above the flattening out rotation zone and preferably about 74.50. Then I will get in much more bullish mode for consumer staples. Other than that, it is still in medium to long-term bullish mode on that. Never hit a sell signal with a bounce there. XLV, again, never triggered a sell mode. Really strong rally in healthcare, a snapback rally. There was no double on that, but watching for some overhead resistance, especially around 131.21. So this is more raising stops and managing any current long positions rather than aggressively looking for new positions in XLV, watching for a little consolidation first. Now, if there's a super strong bullish setup that forms, yes, but right now this has gone on an extended run and watching for a little pause in there. XLB materials, sell mode, even though it bounced back, just getting within a hair's throw of the final double top pattern, but then making a double bottom. That's what changed it from bearish to just slightly bullish within a bigger bearish trend. So this was just triggering back on actually the 7th. First and second targets hit. We'll watch for a little more play in the upside, but going to then focus on another rollover move in materials, especially after this double bottom finishes playing out and still in medium to long-term sell. XLC, remember, we've been a long-term sell forever. Still, even with this bar, long-term sell. We'll use this, any continued rally on this to watch for new short setups in XLC. No great bottoming pattern just yet. XLU utilities, strong reversal back up, especially with the consolidation of the notes. Yes, this is forming a potential double top pattern. Potential. And that does not mean we get bearish. However, it starts getting closer to here, especially if we start making back below the rotation zone and this prior little breakout area. Let me mark that off here. About 75.60. Then I will get more to a neutral stance, watching for a potentially bigger pullback. What's interesting is this could technically trigger this double top, pull back, easily hit the first and second targets without triggering a long-term sell. So I'm getting cautious on utilities. Now, if we do break above this 78 level, especially when we close above it, then I will start looking for some bigger potential breakout plays, okay? Until that happens, not much going on there. Also going to shift this to the forward harmonics. And I'm going to tighten this up to the reverse harmonics. Why? Because if we break out above these highs, These are the levels I want to watch for, especially raising stops. So when utilities hit 78.55 and then 79.05, want to look to raise stops on any utility plays. XRT, we have the retail ETF, still never triggered a long-term or medium long-term buy. We closed not last week, the week before, below the 62.5, getting a little bounce. I'm still expecting this to roll over to test 59.65. So I'm just watching for short setups. Yes, this was a little mini double. And the first and second targets are hit. So limited upside. Also, this is the prior breakdown zone, the prior 50% harmonic. So major resistance about 66.55. We'll start watching if that is hit, especially Monday or Tuesday. We'll start watching for new short setups in there. IYT, transportation, did not trigger long-term sell. Nice little bounce back off that 50 to 62.5 support zone holding. So can still watch for some transportation plays. And yes, this was also a little mini sloppy double. 336.25. 236.25. First target not yet hit, so I am a little cautious. 237.99, 239.73, but if there are any good transportation plays that continue to move up, they are still worthwhile looking at. Semiconductors, little snapback rally. Remember 2 weeks ago closing below the 62.5, so still expecting, especially to test this 197 level. This was actually a pretty weak rally. Yes, you have the mini double bottom on the SMH. Couldn't even get to the first target though. So on anything continued, I'm watching the declining rotation zone and that first target to 1977 for a potential rollover play. This is just setting up for potentially new shorts in the semis. DBC commodity index still in long-term buy mode. Nothing's changed yet. In consolidation, keeping a close eye, not chasing commodity plays now. But if there's a strong bullish setup, we'll still consider it. Agriculture, still in buy mode. Watching before I start looking for agriculture plays, I need it to really, need it to break above this 2076 area and then close above it on a daily basis. Then I will check out some more agriculture plays, even though we're in bullish mode. We're in a consolidation in bullish mode, so not looking anything aggressive until we get the key close into this clear path move. Then the real target is the breakdown zone of 2171. Gold miners, got a bounce back. Still looking for a more substantial bottoming pattern in this. Keep in mind, this is just retesting this breakdown zone. If we start getting above there, we'll glance at some gold miners, but nothing yet that's strong here. So still sitting on the hands unless you're really good with picking. And this wasn't a divergence bottom anyways. And cycles are back at the top, so nothing going for me personally in gold miners. Vanguard value, still in long-term buy mode. Nothing changed. Nice bounce back between the 50 and the 62.5. Recovery and closing above the prior week's high. Let me just verify that. 138.47. 138.53. Yes, so this was a close above yesterday's high. Last week's high with the bounce back. I forgot. I have to. Yes, this was a double. I just had to double check to make sure that it wasn't sloppy. I did not have it set on this chart. 139.08, 140.03, 140.97. So value plays are still an option. Value plays, especially triggering that double, are still an option to look for. Growth coming down. Did not close below the 62.5. Nice little reversal outside bar with the close above last week's high and with this little mini double bottom. So this shifted. That's why you need to learn this yourself. It actually only triggered on Friday and hit the first target. Will Look for any follow-through plays, even though we're in long-term selling growth before the next rollover, especially once we hit this 250, 251 area. We'll really start looking for rollover growth plays. It has a little more, by the way, that wasn't a double top, that was a head and shoulders. Sorry, sometimes I just misspeak because they're very similar patterns. But what's key for me, we have this breakdown zone right by the first final target of this double. So once this hits this area, we'll start looking for rollover plays and short plays in growth because it is in medium to long-term sell. That's where we are sitting with this stock sector overview. Hope that helps everybody set up some potential sectors and plays to focus on for the coming week. Please tune into the live streams, or if you can't make them live, watch them on the recordings so you get some more daily ideas and daily updates to current market conditions. With that, I will talk to everyone later. Bye for now.